see before I get more philosophical. Okay. I think a lot of people would agree that if you were in an accident, a horse, and like you started to fall off the horse and maybe got stuck and started to get drugged, right? This is one of those near death type of experiences, right? So you get drugged by the horse, you get hurt really bad. There's a lot of pain physically with all of this. And then your mind gets stuck in the, oh my God, I could have died. It could have been worse. What could happen next time? So you get stuck in your head in the what ifs of what happened to you. Now, I think everybody would agree that to process through that in reality, there's a part of it of after you heal, getting back up on the horse. Now, whether you continue to ride this forever, it's about like overcoming the fear. Sorry, I can't stabilize this. Um, it's about overcoming the fear, and you just get back up on the horse enough that you're not afraid to do that. You don't have to go back into the intensity that you used to, but so that you're not stuck in the fear process of things. That's what they encourage you to do. So, what my last video was talking about is this same kind of thing. That if you are stuck in the what could have happened, what should have happened, why did it happen, these kind of things where you're stuck in your mind about the event in some kind of fear, anxiety, something like this, you're not processing it in reality. You're pausing reality for you to live in your head for that. And now the thing is no matter what you curtail in reality to something that's in your head, there's no way to ever actually beat and battle that, right? Because your mind can always just come up with other scenarios and stuff because it's not actually reacting or fighting to something in reality to see the cause and effect type of thing. It's becoming, I don't know what D4 is. Okay. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that when you're battling the what ifs, should haves of reality, and then you're stuck in the anxiety and the fear of it, your brain is not able, no matter what you change in your behavior, no matter what you're doing, you're not actually changing to something that you can have a physical confirmation that it's working. So then it becomes this mind thing. Hi from India. So when people are talking about a lot of us living in our heads versus in reality, like what you fear is in your head, this is what it's talking about. It's talking about how the what if, should have, could haves of what you went through keeps you stuck in a mental battle that you can't physically pull yourself out of. So, like if you fell off the horse, you have to get back up on the horse again to not be afraid of it. I do a lot of daydreaming. What should I do? Act on it. Put those dreams into reality in some way, but be logical about it. So, like, if your daydreams are fantasy type of things, fighting dragons and stuff like that, then you need to do some kind of art form. Maybe write a story, maybe do poetry with that, or write a short story, write a movie script. You can use your dreams to pursue a reality that aligns with what you want. But we have to get out of battling these things inside of our heads to actually do reality in some kind of way. So again, are you American? Yes, I am American. Floridian. Um, Florida. So I guess that might speak on who I am and why I am the way I am. Anyway, so when you're stuck on the what could have or should have, we're going to use the horse example. So if you are riding on a horse and you go to fall off and you get stuck on the saddle or whatever and you get dragged, that's a near death experience. And if you get stuck in your head of, oh my God, I could have died, and all of these things, and you don't get back up on the horse, you stay in a mental battle, right? You become fearful, anxietyful of anything that could put you in that situation again. Where if you live in reality, even if you don't do the extremes with the horse that you had done before, as long as you get back up on the horse, you break that fear. So it's about living in reality with your actions and not so much fighting battles inside your head. A lot of what we're afraid of, a lot of our anxiety doesn't come from, shout out, please. Janelle, hi. Um, I'm ESC. I don't do words and names really well. So if I mess up a name when somebody asks me to shout out or do something like that, I pre apologize. I really am just not good at that kind of stuff. It's something that I lack. I'm open about it. There's nothing I can do to change who I am. How is the quality of life in America? The corporate politics, is it good where you are living best life? Yes and no. So, America is one of those weird places where the top lives in a more luxurious life, and then there's like a middle class that has a really decent average life, and then there's the rest of America that supports all of that stuff, that kind of lives paycheck to paycheck. And America is within its own little dynamics of trying to figure out how to balance, because America is the youngest country. And so, like everybody else that has had to go through their struggles and adjustments, America itself has to go through those same exact struggles and adjustments, because that's just the process of how countries and stuff go to. Same here in the Philippines. It happens in a lot of countries and places like that. This more of a economic system problem than country problem. But that's something that I personally try to fight and battle. But you have to balance fighting things logically and living within a system. You can't just drill holes in your own boat to stop the direction it's going in. It's not really logical. How many people, baby, are, I don't know. Um, do you have a car? I do have a car, but my car is a year away from being an antique and has a lot of problems and stuff with it, but it gets me from point A to point B. So I appreciate that I have something, because not everybody has it. And everybody has struggles with the things that they have. There's a lot of people that have cars that are in kind of conditions that are like mine, that are appreciative of having cars just because it gets them from point A to point B. And there's people that have other types of transportation. The motorbikes, like little engine powered bikes, are very popular here in America for people that don't have cars. And then we do have a public transportation system. I don't know how this thing kind of converted, but I've been talking with people. This is the first time I've actually done somewhat well at interacting with the people on the live part of this. I'm not good at the lives, but it helps me to be able to put up longer videos, because I'm working on the minimums of stuff, because that's where I am economically. It is what it is. We all have to use the resources that we're given and do the best that we can with that. You can't wait for better resources to try to change your circumstances, because they're not just going to fall in your lap. You have to use what you have to push forward, and most of the time that's really just your hard work. That is the best thing that we have, is our hard work, our ability to move, create, and do things with determination and pure willpower. Like, you can build anything if you really put your mind to it. There's nothing that's been created that didn't come from this earth first. You just have to know how to create it. Um, yes, it is a little bit more difficult to turn sand into glass without technology, but there is ways to do it. Um, and lightning was originally doing it in the past. No, it's a problem of constitution. I don't. Our Constitution isn't. I'm probably not the best person to talk about constitutional stuff with because while I love my country and all of that, I place the planet higher than my country. My morals probably align more with like an anarchist. I believe that we all should just be smart enough to control ourselves and not have a governmental control, but I don't advocate for that kind of stuff. That's not the political battles that I choose to fight. I'm just trying to figure out how to make everybody livable in an economic system. Because I don't think anybody cares about people having more than them. I think the problem with the economic system is the people that don't have enough at all and can barely survive. How we ignore people that are living on the street and tell ourselves that they're bad because it's easier to tell ourselves that things are bad than to truly have compassion for what's going on. If you make your mind believe that they deserve it or they did it to themselves or anything like this, it makes it easier for you to just ignore it. And that's kind of why humans do that, is if they can come up with some justification to not have to act, they will. And our morals tend to make us the other way. Like we tend to want to act and do things. So we have to come up with a justification if we don't, if we're being too lazy or we that's just the way the mind works. Do you ever where do I temple go there? I will never have the finances to ever leave Florida. I will be in Florida for my entire life. I vicariously live through videos to see all kinds of temples, and I'm really like fascinated with the ancient megaliths and like rock cut structures and precision stuff. I like that stuff, but I only interact with it vicariously through the internet. So that's why when you have access to those things, please, even if you don't think that you're going to get a huge viewership, please post that stuff. There's people who are living in circumstances that are not going to get the experiences that you get that would love to live vicariously through you. Even in circumstances that you don't think are the greatest or ideal, you may be in poverty in a place that is beautiful to another person that you could just walk out and show what your average life is, and other people will sit there and watch it in awe because it's something that they've never had access to, nothing that they've ever experienced, and something that does give their mind that cool ability to have that new novelty from something. Monotony is boring. Monotony is one of the things that make us so depressed in the world. So any kind of novelty is really good for us. Especially since there's so much diversity in the world, and that novelty can come from showing each other our experiences, and that will also help make us more compassionate towards each other. Um, Compassion isn't a lack of care or love from humans. It's a lack of desire to truly understand. It's a lack of understanding how our confirmation bias work, a lack of understanding of how humans truly operate. And so we've constantly told ourselves these certain things that like humans are bad and all of these things. It's like, okay, so are you a bad human? Oh, no, no, not you. So then why are other humans bad? Like when you really truly look at humans, we're all the same, even if we display those same things differently. It's still the same thing. Like what makes you laugh can be different than what makes me laugh, but a laugh is a laugh. Does that make sense? There's a lot of things that I just wish I understood where other people's experiences put them, where their internal mind processes things, so I could truly interact and talk with people on their level and not on my assumption of their level. Because without people communicating with each other, that's where we get stuck. We get stuck having to communicate with each other through our perception of what the other person is versus the reality of what the other person is, because it's a guess. We're guessing. If I don't share with you what's happening internally, how I process, where I'm coming from, my experiences, why, all of these things, then you don't have an ability to just know those things, right? You don't know where I come from until I say I'm from Florida. Like, you can't just look at somebody and be like, yep, this is exactly the truth of things. But you can look at somebody and make an assumption based on your personal experiences that you think is correct. And that's confirmation bias. And that's how it works. And there's little things that humans have been trying to share the information with others and they don't want to listen. And I accept that and understand that because I've been there personally where people are trying to share information with me, but the way they're sharing it doesn't hit with me. And then find it from somebody else that I understand, and then realizing those other people were trying to explain the same thing to me. So I guess I'm not worried if somebody doesn't understand because there's another human being that's going to speak it in their language. Um, I don't know. I feel like I have pulled this so far off of what I originally started with. I think I was talking about the internal battle. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and let my brain cool down. Um, Thank you guys. This was a really nice live. This is the first time that I've interacted with people and not got frustrated. So thank you guys for participating in this journey with me.